Good afternoon, people. This is our second podcast in partnership with Suffolk New College and MEN2BE. It's in the making. Previously, we spoke to students and mentors, or mentor, about actually elite sportsmen, what drives them, where their challenges are, where they want to be. So this afternoon, we're going to talk a little bit about music. And my name's Mark, this is Ben, we're going to co-facilitate the session. So we've got Louie, got Rorie, and we've got Emile, soon to be a mentor, the same way, I believe. But we'll see how it goes. So, give thanks for everyone to show up this afternoon. Appreciate your time. And now we're just going to there's no right and wrong answers. Just chat. Yeah, man. No stress.
So we know each other through a project called Emulate. It's something which myself and Mark run. Every Monday we bring together a group of guys in which Louie and Rorie, you're part of it. Just round, just young guys, local guys interested in following a career in music. Emile, you're one of our engineers and producers.
Indeed.
As well. One of our kind of regular guests and supporting a number of our projects. So, it's been great working with you. And I know, Rorie, you're here at Suffolk College studying at the moment, and Louie, you were here a few years ago. So you haven't been probably in these places for a good few years now.
Yeah, I remember this Rising Studio. I think they started that the year I was here.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't here before.
Well, maybe they had something, but I just remember in the class everyone agreeing on a name for it.
Go on. So you were part of agreeing on the name for it?
Yeah, I can't take any credit for it, to be honest.
No, but you were part of something.
I didn't have the best attendance back then.
Oh, you didn't?
But
you
I
weren't
was
the model
there
student?
Nah.
I can't.
Damn, we'll go straight into that.
Straight in, bro. Come on. Straight in. What was happening, man? This
Well, it
course
was
didn't
just
stimulate
right
you?
after COVID that I came here.
Yeah.
The course was actually I liked the course, really, because you had a lot of freedom to pick your own creative projects. I done media, so I remember really getting into making some album covers and stuff when I was here. I liked it, but I think I still had a bit of the leftover low motivation and negative effects on my mental health from the lockdown.
Yeah.
Understandable.
So I wasn't the most involved student, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Bless
Good teachers.
But what's so we'll come back to college and learning in a bit. But
Decent.
what were your earliest music memories? Can maybe start with you, Rorie.
Earliest music memories, I'd say listening to music in the car, I guess. Just simple, because I never was much into music, in my not early life, but I only started really making music at 15, 16, so it was more of just a passive thing. But then I realised how much it was a part of my life, and then I was just you go from listening songs in the car with your mum and dad or something like that, and then you go from listening to loads of artists, you got obsessed with one, let's say Kanye, for example. Even when I was 8, I was obsessed with Kanye, and it's just stuff like that. It's led and just build up, and I just kind of become more obsessed,
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what your parents liked.
No, that was kind of what I like. I used to listen to. It's what this radio station called Kiss used to play loads of old songs, and then I was the 2000s and shit that, and that was my favorite. And then it kind of moved on to hip hop, Jay-Z, Kanye, mainstream hip hop, but still that was just what was played, and I was I know I just loved that, and then that's why I've been on hip hop ever since, sort of thing.
And kind of music in because that's kind of my early memories as well. Just driving in the car with my dad and listening to music. There's something about I don't know, a changing backdrop, looking out the window into the distance, seeing kind of different scenery. I don't know if it helps you kind of process music or listen to music in different ways, but I kind of find travel quite important. It sounds like maybe you do as well.
Yeah, I second that. I feel it's therapeutic. If you're in the car listening to good songs, and it's also you associate good songs with good days. So obviously you're coming home on a summer when you're a kid and you had a good day, and a certain song's playing on the radio, you might just end up loving that song it's like we associate different songs with memories as well. That's what I like about music as well.
Yeah.
Like you said about in the cars and like, you know.
But what was your? Because it's probably a little bit different for maybe your age. But what was your first purchase? Can you remember what?
Musically?
Yeah, music. Yeah. Cause I remember it. I remember it as a CD. But I don't know if that's the kind of same now. Do you?
Oh, like my first.
What did you buy? What was the artist?
I've never actually bought a physical copy of music.
Oh wow.
I've never, because it was just like I thought it was a waste of time because obviously I've been growing up like as soon as I started listening to music, it's the Spotify era, the instant play, YouTube music sort of thing. So I never had to like buy a physical, but I love to collect vinyl, but I'm not a fan of CDs really, but I like vinyl.
What about you, Louie? Can you remember early memories?
Yeah, actually, Rory just jogged my memory a bit when you said in the car. My mum didn't really play music in the car. I don't know why. She would just always tell me to turn it down, like, because she was trying to concentrate and stuff. But
Same as my mum, man.
yeah,
We just didn't have music really.
yeah. But also, until this car she got, it could only play the CDs, and we didn't have any CDs anyway, so it was just radio. But my friend's dad, I remember when I was really young, me and my mate Jack would really love this song called, you know, that like Mama do the hump, hump, Rizzle kicks. I just remember we would like, because we were probably like, I don't know, 8 or something, we would always be like, yeah, let's go McDonald's and listen to Mama do the hump on the way.
Fantastic.
Yeah. My dad has a good music taste, and he liked Michael Jackson and the Beatles, and I think I really liked them both when I was a kid. And then I kind of stopped listening to the Beatles when I became a teenager. I haven't listened to them that much, but I'm still a big Michael Jackson fan.
The house was full of music?
Yeah. It wasn't like the most lively like household, I'd say, but yeah, we play music pretty often.
Okay.
What about you, Emile? I presume was your formative years in Holland?
Yeah, from about 2.5, so probably most of my music memories definitely come from that time. But I feel like I'm going to give the same answer as everybody else. It was the car always. But it's so specific. I can remember the car. My dad had this MG Z-Type, early 2000s. It was the sickest thing ever. It had the 5 CD switcher.
Oh yeah, them ones, man.
It was cold when
proper,
you had.
man.
It was cold when you had that. Even had the TV like built into the ceiling, so you could flip it down.
Wow.
I used to always watch Spider-Man 2
What,
as
the
a
car?
kid. Yeah.
Go on.
Early 2000s, like I'm talking 2004, 5.
People had it good in Holland, man.
It was crazy. Like I was the only one who had that, and that was nuts always. So yeah, I always think like listening to the car because where I used to live in the Netherlands used to be like a village. So to go to like the big supermarkets, like your equivalent of Sainsbury's, Tesco's, you had to drive like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I always remember like every Friday evening after school, I was driving there, and it used to, if you want to go specific in albums, it used to always be in the car like Usher's Confessions, 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying when that just came out, Akon Convicted. It was really stuff like that, and you know, I didn't like it at the time. I still don't probably really as much. I remember Kate Nash when she first came out with that song, you know, Your Face is Pasty, and Adele's first album. So I really had like probably a mixture of everything in the car always. So I always just remember that. But obviously music's been so much of a part of my life that transitions very quickly into studying music theory and then guitar. So it's always been there. I mean, there's pictures of me when I was a baby with like right next to like probably, you know, like speakers like about almost like chest high.
Go on.
You know, that used to calm
So
me
music
down.
was big in your family?
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
So my parents both are massive music listeners, and it's very different on both sides, from my mum's taste to my dad's taste, and it's kind of like both formed into me, I suppose.
Yeah. And Dutch music? You know, culture, does that sort of play any part in your...
I didn't listen to that much Dutch music there at
Is
the
there?
time.
I mean, there's got to be a...
Oh yeah, there's a massive scene over there
Yeah.
because obviously I moved there when I was 2.5, must have been 2001. So as you know, in UK, happy hardcore, like gabba music, hobber music.
Hard.
I remember
music,
that, man.
Yeah,
About
hard
million beats per
style.
minute, man.
Yeah,
You have
yes.
to just run on the spot, man, for that
Yeah,
one.
Haken is what they call that dancing.
Mad.
But the other side is probably like a Schlager, which is more German. You know, we think the do do do
Yeah,
do
yeah,
like that kind of stuff
Yeah.
was massive over there. But as years went on, I guess pop started to come more as well. You had artists like Gers Pardoel, which would be like, if you think like proper like mid 2000s pop, that started to become major. But no, we never really listened to the radio. We always just had CDs and DVDs. I never really had that much Dutch media in my life, as per se, unless I went to friends, obviously. But not in my
and
personal life.
nightclubs. I remember going to a nightclub once in Amsterdam, and I was amazed at the diversity of the music. Like in England, it would be, you know, you got one genre, that's how it rolled, boom. And this one, I think it was called the Milky Way, Melkweg.
Okay, yeah.
Played everything, man. So they played a real eclectic mix of music, as it were. There was no sort of cultural snobbery around music. Like, I'm going just for hip hop, that's it, story done. No, this was like hip hop, a bit of ABBA, a bit of everything, as it were. You know, and it's a funky club, man. You know, but to me, it plays differently in Europe.
Yeah, I can't really speak about the nightclubs because I left Netherlands when I was 11 and then moved to Belgium, obviously. So I was never in Dutch nightclubs as much. But it does, what you're saying pretty much sounds right to me. You're kind of shooting back memories when I think about maybe going to certain Dutch venues, like child-friendly ones, obviously, because the culture's a lot different over there with like even pubs, for example. Whereas you wouldn't maybe bring kids to many pubs in UK. Pretty much all of them were like always child-friendly. And it'd be like a certain hour, but the hour was quite late. It's a very relaxed atmosphere drinking over there, I suppose. So it's not so much like you're worried to bring your kids here and there kind of thing.
Yeah.
Definitely nice.
And so, like all of you are massively involved in music now. Like you two guys produce music. Emile, you spend a lot of time in the studio. How do you kind of transition from like listening to music in the car and actually this is quite cool to actually this might be something which I is an interest which I follow and actually might be a career path. It might be something which I actually kind of turn from an interest into something way of life.
Like passive, innit?
Yeah.
From being passive to be kind of more engaged in the process, as it were.
Were there kind of any kind of formative experiences or maybe people in your life that actually you should do this, or is this just like a slow realization that actually maybe this is a path which I can follow? I don't know, Louie, you got any thoughts?
I think I would just kind of naturally have the thought of like, I wish there was a song about that, and then I could do that.
Oh
I
yeah.
could make the song about that. Yeah.
Go on.
That's kind of just.
So it become personal for you in that
simplify it.
respect.
Yeah. I think I was having ideas up for a long time before I actually put any money or effort into making them. So.
And did you recognise you maybe got certain skills and attributes which would allow you to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music was already playing a big role, like you said, more of a passive role, but I would always be listening to it. So you kind of naturally, might not learn the actual techniques and the hardware and software and all that from having a passive approach, but you can really like become an amazing, well, I'm not an amazing, but you can become a decent songwriter and have good ideas without ever having produced anything if you have kind of evolving taste in music and you listen and you what's the word, like kind of appreciate each layer of the production, for example. Or I'm a massive like fan of really lyrical people, so I would always be talking about like lyrics from J. Cole songs with my mate Rakesh. So you kind of naturally just
Storytellers.
You kind of, if you appreciate it, you naturally learn it a bit, and if you kind of meditate on certain lyrics, not on purpose meditate on it, but if it's there in your brain because it's just good, in many words, like you kind of can just do it and then you build on from there. But if you were listening to it all the time, like a lot of people could just get a piece of paper and write like a verse and it would be pretty good, like without having to train for it.
You
if
think
you've
that?
got lived
You
experience.
think that lived experience, that
Yeah.
organic sort of like gut feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the best songs, like there's like Lauryn Hill songs where it's like the most simple sentences.
But she's got a voice like Angel, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So she could sing anything.
But even without like, because she's got an amazing voice, but even the literal lyrics, if they were written down, they'd still be good, even if it's just a simple ass sentence like, how can I explain myself? And then whatever the fuck she says after that, I can't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, because
You
they're
don't think
relatable.
So you don't think
So
you need
anyone with
training?
something relatable can make a song.
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. I hear that. And you're
Yeah.
suggesting maybe you don't need to go to the college in order to do that, to have those skills in some respect.
Yeah.
You're talking about lived experience, and you're talking about other ways to arrive at that knowledge.
Yeah.
Go on.
Not always easy to put things into words, though. You know, I personally find it difficult. So I might have feelings, but actually how I articulate that into words, I find difficult. So obviously you've got a skill set.
You can't go straight into like, you know, like 5-syllable rhyme schemes on a rap verse. But some of the best lyrics are just like a simple sentence. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I just kind of did it, and then I liked it, so I just kept.
And
doing it.
production side, what, you sort of got software quite early on in your
Oh, that was
your life?
horrible. That was so stressful. Yeah, I tried to take shortcuts, especially financially. So I lost a load of work and stuff because I was working on a bad computer, and I was cheeky with my methods of attaining software.
Okay. Yeah.
So I lost quite a bit of work, and it was quite stressful. But now I'm doing it a legit way. So
You're bona fide and legit.
yeah,
The hard
Right.
path.
yeah.
Your tax.
The hard but sustainable
It's
path.
slower, but it actually like does it. You don't have the threat of, oh, one day you open up a project, then it's like, oh, you can't load this bit or something like that. Because that was just like a, if you really like something you made, but you know, like some of the software might be a bit dodgy or something. It's just stressful knowing that it can just be taken away and stuff. So
Yeah,
I
that's no
don't
good.
recommend that way.
But I suppose
really.
it's just you got to live with your means, isn't you? You know, you
Mm.
obviously did that because you didn't have the P to.
Yeah, I
kinda-
learned.
exactly.
I learned on
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
it's like a whole extra year or two of learning. So I don't regret it because it would have meant that I would have to wait until I got those means, and I would have had like I would be set back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. And what's your journey been like, Rory?
Well, I'd say the year was 2023, and it's not that long ago actually. I was like 15, turning 16, and it was December, and me and my friend, like after listening to Drake's new album, like I genuinely said to him, I was like, I can genuinely write this, and he was like, oh, like, and then we just kind of like joked around with each other, like, oh yeah, we could do that, and then we decided like, all right, let's just make an album for just like why not? We use beats off YouTube and stuff like that, and then when we made it, sort of the process of doing all that, even though it was on BandLab, it sort of like made me fall in love with the process of making music and like writing and stuff. Like I started more writing, so it was more writing, but it was still I still loved it so much. And obviously when I released it, it was such a good feeling. Like people in my school were like listening to it, and I just remember that feeling of like, I released something, put so much work in the music, and I actually thought it sounded good, and I was like, wow, like that sounds like a proper song. And then like that whole process, like it's kind of like a spiritual journey in a way, because you're releasing, you like putting
It's a
it,
bit
like,
of you, innit?
yeah, you're birthing a creation into the world. That's what I believe like all like creative stuff is. And then obviously from that feeling, I just loved it so much that I was like, I need to make my own album. And then after making that, I just like I was like, yeah, like I want to do this for my job, because I also had like really bad time in school in a way, because I got kicked out of year 11, so I had no GCSE. So it's at this point where I was like, all right, I've got kind of two crossroads. I either have to work really hard or just do something I enjoy and just follow my heart. And I decided that I really enjoyed music, and then sort of led me here today with a couple wins, couple losses, but no, I mean,
And the family was supportive of that chosen pathway?
No, I wouldn't say so. Like, I remember my dad, it was funny, but like I was in the car with him, I was talking about I was going to college for music, and he was like laughing at me. He was like, are you going to sit all day doing dun dun dun? And I was like, yeah, I mean, to be fair, he actually was right. I mean, the college was terrible for music. I shouldn't have gone there, but I don't regret going there, but I shouldn't have gone there. But I mean, it was just little stuff like that, and then how like obviously my mum was more supportive, but she was still like, all right, like, you know, it's not a safe job. But I always kept telling them that I was like, well, if you want to find true happiness in life, you've got to follow your passion. There's no point of doing other stuff, me doing like an electrician course. If my heart's not in that, then I'm going to be like, that's how people end up being depressed, because they end up working jobs that they just don't like when they had a passion before, but they just didn't pursue it. So it's like, and also I have the privilege of living in this country where I can sort of pursue that passion, and I have more privilege than other people. I'm not from a rich family, like far from it, but as in I have the privilege where I can just say, all right, I want to become a musician now, and like obviously people in third world countries can't do that, and obviously like you got, you know, war and all of that.
Man.
So, but yeah.
Bless, man.
Yeah, and you, Emile?
Yeah, I suppose for me it was it's so hard to remember now, because I've been doing music from probably about maybe about 5-6 years old. So I can't remember exactly why it happened, but obviously, like I said a bit earlier, music's always been around me. So around 5-6, my primary school in the Netherlands, it offered like the opportunity to study music, in the sense of like more like notation and stuff like that. So I think I did that for 2 years, and then
A primary school.
yeah,
Wowza.
from like 5-6, it was like all notations and learning how to read.
You don't get that in England, is it?
No, not at all.
No.
And so I think I picked up a guitar around 9. It was funny because I think my parents wanted me to learn piano more, but it was a financial thing of like, you know, this is, you're going back to,
And status, maybe.
yeah, it was a financial thing. It was like 2008-9. It was like, how are you going to get a piano that's just like cheap and affordable to practice at home in between lessons? So settled more for guitar. And I remember always getting the first guitar. This music shop was crazy. It was a music shop, but the place before it was a bank. So where they used to hold all the guitars, that you'd have this massive like vault, like literally from the films.
You walk in the vault.
Yeah, you'd walk in the vault and all the guitars would be hanging up there.
Amazing.
So I've still got that first guitar to this day. Well, it's about 20 years later almost now. Still got the same one. I think my music journey, I suppose, became a bit more interesting around the age of 10, 11, when I got my first electric guitar. And at that same time, I got my first bass guitar. And that's when I started discovering all these different bands. Because I had a bass, my mum was like, oh, you should learn Come As You Are by Nirvana. It's a great bass line. And so then I was like a Nirvana fanatic at that point, whereas before I listened to all the other stuff that I just mentioned. But from there I was like, I kind of went into the grunge rock way. And you know, I had this conversation, funny enough, earlier today with someone in the music shop. Shout out School of Rock, Jack Black's film, because that gave me so much, like so many more songs. You know, I don't know if everybody's seen it, but there's a scene at the start where he's like, because these kids come from a real classical background, he's showing them rock music. But I was like that kid, because learning guitar was really classical when I'd started, and then I was kind of like behind the camera in the crew almost. Like I was like, oh, it's a really good song, and I started learning all of those, and from there it kind of exploded. And I think I got to the age of about 13, 14, and started thinking I'd really like to start like recording some of this. And as Louie here said, that was a nightmare with softwares. I remember the first ever one I got in 2012, 13 was Cubase, really early versions. It was dreadful for me. I had it, I didn't really know what I was doing, kind of thing. But it was
all self-taught then?
To a certain degree. I didn't really have too much of a great educational background abroad with school, so I went to a private course for music technology. I was the youngest to do it at the time, because everybody there was like, the other youngest other than me being, I was 15 at the time, I want to say 14, 15, and I think the next youngest was like 27.
Wow.
And then it would go into 30 and 40 year olds. So I was like the youngest there, and I never forget, it's such a pivotal moment in my life, because I remember it would be like all day Saturday, so it was really intense. And I remember getting to lunch break, and I phoned my dad almost in tears. I was like, I don't know what they're saying. Like, I can't. It wasn't a language barrier. It was like a music, like technological barrier. I hadn't been around anybody doing any kind of music like that. So when they're starting to talk about all these different softwares and like EQ and compression, I had no clue what that was at the time. And I was like ready to give up. I was like, this is awful. I've sat here for 4 hours and I feel stupid at this point, because I don't understand anything they're saying. I stuck through it the whole day, and then I remember my parents phoned them, and there was because they offered DJ courses. And at this time, I'm massively into like old school hip hop, and I know that Dr. Dre was a DJ. So I'm thinking I want to do that now. And I remember it was really important, because the guy on the phone said, "Look, you can switch to the DJing if you want, but we'll make sure that we teach you everything
Fantastic.
if you just do another session. And I never looked back at that point. And I think back always like what would have been different, because they really showed me a lot of what I know. This guy was great.
Yeah.
So when you talk about pivotal moments in my life, like people around me, my parents were always supportive of me, and I've got probably them to thank for all the courses and majority of the equipment I ever had. But it was also like my first guitar teacher. He was phenomenal in the Netherlands. It's so long, unfortunately, I can't do him justice and remember his name. But I remember the guy in Belgium, Diederik de Sadler. He did like all of the Voice Belgium.
Yeah.
Like he did everything there.
Okay.
'Cause there's so much that happens in the background that you don't think about with the music.
Yeah.
If you go on there, there's a whole band playing it. They have to learn and rehearse all that. So he was kind of in charge of all of that. And I think he's doing like his own sound paneling and stuff like that. So
you were exposed in a way to a profession, a massive sort of
Yeah.
like, you could see there's opportunity in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think
For
at
me,
that
as
age,
for me as an ignorant person, I don't see that. I just see like one person or something like that,
Yeah.
you know. But there is a whole industry in there, as it were,
Yeah.
which might inspire you as well to think where you can, you know, where you can navigate in that space as well. There's
Yeah.
space for you.
I think I was too young to understand at that time, because I was still like, oh, just release something, you're gonna be great kind
Were you
of
into
thing.
sports as well, or was it solely music?
I was not into sports per se. I was into fitness, like so I would gym like every day for like 4 hours sometimes, and I was into sports education for school as well.
Yeah.
So we do 12 hours in there, and then I did loads of stuff outside, but it was just music and sport and gaming for me. And films was a really important part of my life at that
Yeah.
time. So yeah, it just kind of all blew up from there, and then obviously came back to England. But this is where I can say to everybody, ego can run everything sometimes, because when I was in Belgium, there was no one really doing music, like whether it was playing instruments or recording or anything like that. So I just had to base everything off myself. So I almost came over to England back, and I went to college thinking like, I'm the best. I'm like the best.
man. Yeah.
And that first lesson showed me so much. I saw these people playing instruments in ways I'd never seen it be played, in person at least.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm out of my depth almost. But that pushed me so...
Humbling.
Yeah, it was humbling, but it pushed me so far to be like, okay, now I've got to get really good at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it kind of sort of pushed me. And it's not until, I'm 26 now. It's probably not until the last 5 years of my life where I realized you don't just have to be like a star in the music world to get something in music. Kind of thing. There's so many different paths that you can take.
Yeah.
I think the industry of music is a lot more stable than people think. Because if you're not involved in music, I suppose most people think you have to be like a really famous artist or nothing at that point. But there's a million and one things in between, like famous and not doing music.
Yeah.
And all of them are equally as important, I'd say. More than being a superstar artist, because the superstar artist has like 1,001 people behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's so our project, the Emulate project, Emulate, I guess for people who are not familiar with the word, it's to aspire to be something or someone, and so part of our project is to bring in maybe mentors, local role models who maybe have experience and history in the kind of music industry, to share ideas. A couple of names, one name springs to mind. Matt Applegate, who's kind of come in and done a couple of workshops with you guys recently, and I know that they were particularly valuable, and kind of gave some really important stuff. How much of your journey doing what you're doing so far has been a solitary journey? How much of it has, if you had like influences that have come in and helped you and guide you and mentor you, or have you had to literally do everything yourself?
Can I go first?
So yeah, like I pretty much like I haven't really learned anything except from Emile here. I haven't really been to a course or someone's taught me like music that I've learned much from. Like I came to this college after my first year, and I was expecting to just actually get knowledge in music, but I was quite demoralized when I realized the level of education I received, if that makes sense. So then I kind of like...
In what way then? In what way? What do you think you were looking for, and what didn't you receive?
I was looking to be taught...
And is it realistic?
I was looking to be taught music, because when you take a music technology course, you think you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to be, taught. I want to be taught a bit more further knowledge in making music technology, producing, which is the course I picked. But then I was quite shocked to realize, I don't know. I'm not going to diss the college. I know we're here, but I wouldn't recommend that course to anyone really, but I mean, yeah. But we're going back to the point of like I haven't really had much external influence per se, except like I used to do a couple making waves sessions with Emile, which that helped me more than college did, which says a lot about the college. But I don't want to keep going in the college, so I'll probably stop speaking. But yeah.
is this the challenge that you have a college course, and what it's kind of designed for is like the average. And it needs to kind of meet a little bit of kind of needs from different types of learners who have different types of goals. And maybe what you're saying is that your needs and your goals weren't perhaps kind of met, but maybe for other people that they could be.
Yeah, 100%. Like I know some people that really enjoyed that course and went and done the second year, and obviously they could say lots of good things about it. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's more of a I don't know. I would maybe take. I don't know really who I'd. I don't know who I'd prescribe that course to really. Like I think it's a bit of a waste of time. Like I don't because like another friend I knew, he did the same course with me the same year, and he just said the same thing of like even though he didn't really have a problem with attendance per se, and he didn't have much problems that year, he just said yeah I wasted that year away. I learned nothing, and now I'm just like, and also it's like you spend a lot of time. Like we make songs for a project on that or in that lesson that just takes up time. Like he said that he wasted so much time that he wished he just made an album. Instead of working on his music project, because what do you have to show for it? But I mean, yeah, I could talk about ages how I regretted going there, but yeah, just I don't know. I guess it's I feel like a lot of music.
Yeah, sorry.
I think so. You feel you got more out of your own sort of self-discovery.
Yeah, I feel like
so we were talking about being with people, being by yourself. Seems like to me, what I'm listening to, you're quite good at being by yourself and and coming up with solutions and coming up with knowledge, which actually informs your creativity.
Yeah, I do also really value though learning of people that are better than me and that are actually like that are good or like can teach me good knowledge. So I enjoy it. I think it's really valuable. I just haven't really had that much opportunities to speak to people that have been able to help me, that have been in my genre, let's say, that have been knowledgeable, or like doing the same stuff as I am, because it's hard with music because it's really broad. Like you could meet someone and they could just be a pop producer and I'm like, okay, I can't really work with you as easily. So it's a lot of barriers to meet like people that will help you, I guess. But yeah, just
well, I think what I'm hearing as well, just like a kind of positive view of what you've just said, is that sometimes young guys, young students get labelled that not interested in education, a bit lazy, attendance not so good, all of these issues. But what you're saying is actually maybe those issues wouldn't, or those kind of those viewpoints wouldn't be there if the course was actually more challenging, more kind of relatable,
more personal,
more personal.
Whatever happened there, which is a bizarre thing, because you're kind of a real creative person. You've got a lot to give the world, as it were. You really sort of dig deep to find out who you are and how you want to connect with the wider world. And yet, you weren't connected with in a learning environment by someone who potentially could be a role model to you, who's got knowledge. Got knowledge, bruv. That's why they're here. It's a mad thing.
I wouldn't blame the teacher. I think it's also due with the quality of resources they've been given to teach and what the syllabus is and what they've been assigned to do. But obviously, the teachers. I mean, I wouldn't blame the teachers per se. Depends which teacher, but yeah.
No, I mean for us, because obviously part of this kind of like, this notion of becoming, this notion of us, facilitating this podcast is about the role in which role models, mentors have a part to play in our life, as it were. So it's just interesting to connect them, if there's no connection, but it's just, it's frustrating that yourself, who should be in a way a grade A student, that's the way I hear it, and yet, you struggled. And the same with you, brother, because college didn't work out for you either.
Yeah, I wouldn't really blame the college.
I'm not blaming, man. I'm not blaming, man. We're not chanting down the college. But no, it didn't work for you for some reason.
Nah, yeah, I had some other personal things at the time.
Okay.
I had pretty bad OCD at that time. I was like learning what that was, because that was just all in the isolation period. But yeah, I did actually like the course when I was here. I definitely understand what you were saying. I think some of the teachers maybe slightly disregard you a little bit if they see maybe your attendance ain't the best, and it makes sense to put their energy into the kids that turn up every time and stuff like that. so I can't have a go at that. But yeah, overall, I like my experience here. Would you say, Rory, that you have run into any kind of gatekeepy people in this industry where they have the means to help you, but they maybe require proof of
It's a great
your
question, man.
intentions in the industry, or they want, I don't know, they want you to show something before they
Give you a foot up.
opportunities or even just like advice or any things like that.
I wouldn't say gatekeeping. I'd just say like certain like times, like you could tell when a teacher like for a period just didn't like you very much. They weren't really being like, you know, it was a bit like cold or what, you know what I mean? It's not, I wouldn't say gatekeeping, and I wouldn't like, yeah, and I don't blame the teachers fully, because obviously it's what they're, you know, they're only given a certain amount of money. They're not exactly paid like loads to do this. They've not got much resources. It's like, but obviously, yeah, I don't know. But it's not just me saying this stuff. I mean, I'm probably the most vocal about it, but I mean, I think other people from the course would say somewhat similar things to me. I'm not going to mention names, but
No.
But what about the sector, though? I mean, Louie was saying about within the sector, about, you know, maybe you got people there maybe can give you a step up, but some people don't give you a step up. Have you come across that?
I haven't come across that per se, but I know that happens a lot within any industries, where some people just, I don't know, they have little, in their minds they think preconceived beliefs about someone, so they don't help them as much. But I haven't saw that per se, but I wouldn't discount that happening.
Have you, Louie? Then you asked the question.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How does it play out, man?
You just have to kind of, I don't know, just use it to learn yourself, and just try to turn a negative into a positive and think, oh, at least now I can do it myself. Like, I've learned a new skill. This guy could have helped me with his resources and stuff, but, you know,
Why do you think people don't help? They don't want to give up what they got?
Scarcity mindset. Like
well, honestly, I understand the perspective of, like, there are a lot of young people saying, oh, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I want to get into music. And then I've had a lot of people, like, I'm even being a little bit of a hypocrite right now, because I've had some people come to me and be like, yeah, I'm an artist, yeah. And sometimes, you know, that thing, artist ego, can grow quite quickly. And you can think that you'll be way more successful than you would be if you kind of drop your things and that. And everyone's got limited time. And I think because there are so many people, and obviously it is still semi-rare to like come across someone who will make a big wave in the industry, you kind of can't invest energy into every single person that wants to do it. But I think you should hear people out and like let them show you their stuff and explain their ideas. But some people won't even do that. But you know, everyone's got their own projects and busy
ways of doing things. Yeah.
So
And what's Emile like? So you don't just play music and make music. You kind of transitioned into being a music tutor, and you've worked with these guys. So what are you doing? Because I know you and Rorie have a good, really good working relationship. So what is it about what you do and how you do things differently? Is it the environment as well, which helps? So what are you kind of
I'll go a bit of a roundabout way of answering that, because there's a few points that both of you have brought up that I find interesting. I'll go into kind of what you were saying, Rory, about colleges and all that. I think, like, you're right not to blame a specific building, because obviously I went to a completely different college and learnt music. Well, I'd already known music at that point, but you know what I mean, kind of thing. I think it's always tricky in an educational environment, at least, because you go to a college or school, there's certain criteria they need to meet, and like the coursework, they're not really personally deciding what you're going to do. They just kind of decide the path you're going to do it in that sense. Because I struggled the same way as you. I went to college already kind of knowing a bit of music, but I didn't mind it as much, because I understood. I was like, okay, I'm in college, maybe not everybody's at the same level already at this point. And then there are definitely some things I learned from there, but I 100% agree that you learn so much more from being out in the field and doing it yourself. Because my biggest thing was when I went to uni, I'm thinking, okay, I'm in university for music production. There's not a single chance that people are going to be here who you know, don't have a background in music. But I was shocked. Like out of 10 people, I think it was only 3 of us that did,
Really?
and everybody else didn't.
Wow.
And I left after a year and a half because not to sound big-headed, but I need to be in a room sometimes where, like this room would work for me. There's 2 people here that actively make music.
Yeah.
So I'm okay.
Iron sharpeth iron.
Yeah, but when I was there, no one was really doing it that much outside. Out of the 3 of us that were doing it, I'd say it was only myself and one other who were properly doing it outside of an educational setting. So everybody else didn't really have an understanding of instruments and stuff like that. So it can be frustrating, and I think sometimes you are good to go out and do it in that sense. And I'll come now to the original question of what I do, which then kind of answers Louie's question about the gatekeeping. My strongest thing of why I teach and why I do this kind of thing is because it's specifically in what we're doing, a lot of hip hop and rap. There's so much gatekeeping going off in that sense where nobody wants to show a specific technique because they think that if you know how they do it, you'll be them. Yeah. In that sense, you'll just be like, I don't know, if Rory taught me something and I
No, you're going to be Rory.
I'll be Rory V2 in that sense. You know what I mean? It's like the second Rory,
Like
but
that.
I never really understand that. That's why I do it so much, because I understand that it costs me a lot of money to get where I am now, to know everything I know now.
Can I say though, thank you for the lessons you.
We can't really see it.
Yeah, because when you were teaching me, logic, and you were like happy to. I know you probably didn't tell me all your secrets and that, but
we didn't have enough time maybe for that.
Yeah, but I appreciate you like helping me with that, because obviously I could already produce to a certain level, but I was new to logic because I think I'd.
So it felt authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah, it felt like it was being real.
I never thought you were gatekeeper at all, so that was very refreshing. So thank you for
It's alright.
those couple of lessons, man.
It's kind of my mission. I don't really understand the gatekeeping side of things, because I look at it like this. I've got this great knowledge maybe on something, like, I don't know, maybe a specific trick. Why wouldn't I show you? Because for me, I don't fear. I can teach you 100%. And, you know, obviously, like we're saying, that we had to work within 14 hours. So it's really hard to try and give you everything I've got in that 14 hours. But in my mind, I view it as I'll give you 100% of what I got, because even if you know everything I know, we're 2 different people in that sense. So that's my main reason with the teaching. I want to show everybody everything I know, because I think creativity needs to bloom, and music's in a weird state right now where there's not really a leader. So it's almost like, I suppose at 26, my views of being like a world-breaking artist kind of slip away more and more, but I look at it more as in, if I can somehow have a hand in this next generation of musicians coming, that would be great. Just like to have something cool to listen to.
Of course.
And all the projects I do, like, I don't know if I'm going to go too off topic, but like the open mic that we do at ICM is great for age 14 to 25. I'll just put a quick plug in there. Because like I'm seeing so many people now coming with stuff that I'm thinking, I could have never done this at your age. And it's scary when I see some people and I say, oh, I've been producing for like a year or been doing music for a year. And I'm thinking, if I compare myself in my first year of music to this new generation a year, it's crazy. You wouldn't
So you think
believe
there's
it.
more? So young people are more. It's more accessible to them now.
Yeah, and I think that almost that lack of an innovator in music right now, we can name a lot of big artists in the music right now, but if you ask me personally, I wouldn't say there's an innovator of certain things or a leader in any genre, not just hip hop or rap. So I think now maybe people don't think about it, but it seems to be seeping into people to be like, we need something new. And I'm kind of first-hand seeing that sometimes now, which is great. So that's my method of teaching. I just want to see something good.
Yeah,
man.
And is it worth just a quick shout or quick mention about On Track as well? Cause
Definitely, definitely with this conversation relating. I'm currently part of a team right now called On Track, and it's an alternative provision specifically aimed at music, a music alternative provision. And what that means, to break it down simpler, is let's say you've been in trouble in school, maybe attendance or outside of school, been in trouble with the law, anything. I'm not here to judge what people get into. I understand these are tricky times, you know what I mean? And you can't be blamed for a lot that happens. So it's really aimed at people like that who maybe have like a lack of attendance, or maybe the schools just, I don't know, I'm not putting blame on schools, but maybe the environment doesn't work for everybody. Like Einstein said, get a monkey and a fish and tell both of them to climb a tree. One's going to exceed at it naturally, the fish ain't. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. So we're really looking at that. We want to give everybody an easy path into education and try and help you reintegrate and do the most we can. If you're into a certain thing, we want to help you with it. in that sense. So we're really open and caring, and we just want to help in that sense and get people back on a path. There's no right or wrong path. We just want to get you back on a path if you've maybe fallen off of that. I'd say that's the main gist of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, cool.
Beautiful, man.
And just before we wrap up with the final question, would you two like to share a little bit about where you are with music at the moment? I know you've both been working hard, so I'm guessing there's some music coming out soon. Lou, would like to share what you're up to?
Yeah, so when I was obviously learning to produce, I would just make like a new song every day, and I would, if there was lyrics on my mind, I would write to it as well. But so much unfinished stuff, and then I just about 6 months ago I looked through it all and tried to sort it all, and I realized there's kind of 3 main topics of what the songs were, so I organized them into 3 mixtapes. The first one I've just finished. It's just 5 songs, and they're kind of like R&B kind of type things, minimal-ish production, but still pretty good, pretty like bouncy and that. That's called Happily Ever After. They're all kind of like, because obviously it's R&B, so naturally it's gonna be kind of romance-themed songs.
Yeah,
Because that's what the genre like calls for.
There's a bit of love, man.
Yeah. So I want to release that this year. I'm just waiting to get one back from this engineer, and then it will be all done, and I've got to figure out somewhere to like get a little album cover. I think this is the first one I want to put my face to, because I've just done my own little graphic designs for all the other music I've released, but I think I need to like just show people what my face looks
Put
like
yourself
now.
out there a bit.
Yeah.
and it's Louie Brown on Spotify and any other
Yeah,
music station.
Well, I click all of them when I upload it, but I only follow myself on Spotify.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then I got another mixtape after that, which was the second most common topic, which was kind of like just the more hip hop like ones, which are actually some of the earlier songs I made, because that's when I first started to learn to produce. I would try and make like hard hip hop beats. And yeah, that one I think I'm gonna call it The Richest of Fruits is that album
Okay,
Beautiful.
nice.
name. And I've started recording it, pretty much finished writing it. I just have to do a bunch of annoying techie stuff with it. Like I need to it's pretty much produced as well. I just want to use some better sounds for a lot of it, so I have to figure that bit out, and then yeah. And then the third one is like just the idea right now.
Work in progress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Watch this space then.
But I've given up with Logic again, and I went back to FL. Even though you taught me how to use Logic.
Didn't teach well enough.
No, it's just because it's
So I
the
just
first
leave
one
now.
I used FL, so it's more natural to me.
Yeah. And what about you, Rory? What have you got coming up?
Yeah, so the main thing I'm working on right now is a new project. It's my first ever project, fully produced, fully written, and just for everything on there I've done. Yeah, it's a really good project. I can actually say the name. It's Onion Aid, but because the rollout's gonna be me eating an onion, so it's like anywhere I'm gonna be in anywhere and just eat an onion and then film it, and it's quite like it makes you think. It's like, oh, why is he eating an onion? And it's like Onion Aid is a bit of a. It's I don't explain too much of it because it is actually deeper than what this is. But yeah, I made this project because I originally started on Logic. And I decided I just hated certain stuff about it, so I switched to Ableton, and I just suddenly like was just making all these cool beats, and I was like, yeah, I need to actually use these because I was like, you know, I can't just let them go to waste sort of thing. So it was gonna be an EP, but I just kept making good songs. I was like, yeah, this is too far, so I made an album, and actually Louie's gonna be on one of the songs, hopefully. But yeah, all still in the
Would love to.
in the making, and the next project. Well, it came before this. But I wrote this sort of from the ages 15, 16. I kind of put it down now because I wanted to, because I sort of know how good this. I don't want to sound too egoic, but this is genuinely like a sick project, and it's like I genuinely think this will make me like so much money. So I was like, I don't want to.
The beats sound.
That isn't that one the biggest
Amazing.
dick in Ipswich?
No. It's completely. It's like if I explain this project to you, it's called Starman, and it's got like it's kind of a Pharrell Williams 2000s vibe, like I really love it. It's
Yeah.
like, and I feel like that's gonna make me like it. Like, I also want to say it on here, so hopefully in like 2 years'
Go
time,
on.
when it's made me like,
Flashback.
yeah, when
Manifest
it's
it.
You'll come
Look at
back
me
and
now.
tell us.
well, yeah, when it's blown up, I'll be like, yeah, I said it right at this place.
Yeah,
and I
man.
said
Yeah.
this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's Starman, but that's not coming out anytime soon, sort of. But that's the big one. But the main one now, Onionade, is yeah, sounding really good, and yeah, all done by me. The beats are amazing.
Cool.
I could glaze it even more, but I've forgotten the words. Phenomenal track. But it's going to be out hopefully by the end of this year. My aim is to get it out by the 18th of December. But I'm always with with release dates. It's kind of a bit of a sticky one. So
Well,
we'll have
yeah.
to see.
Are you going to be
We-
performing any of these?
I hope to. I hope to.
Okay.
But I'm at that like stage where I'm like, I'm working really hard on it, and I know I've got that deadline, but also I don't want to rush it just to then put
Exactly.
it up, and then it's like a balance. And like, I might end up having drafts that I'll perform, and it might not be the full thing, but hopefully to get some sort of content ready for that performance on the 18th for the Smokehouse.
18th of December, Smokehouse. Yeah, both of you guys performing. So check out Louie Brown and Rorie Dines. And so we'll finish on the final question.
It's Rorie Dines on Google. You can Google me, RORIEDINES, or just any platforms, or Google, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So final question. Thinking about the future, have you got one aspiration, one hope for the future? Could be short term, could be long term. Something which will be important to you. Who wants to go
Emile,
first?
innit?
What would you love
Future.
for the future?
Where's it taking you, bro? This is the future.
I'm living the future right now, I suppose. Yeah. No, I just want to see something. I just want to see something good from the next generation music. Something that I'll enjoy listening to, I suppose. If I'm speaking more personally, kind of maybe because my own stuff gets lost in teaching sometimes. When you're teaching and working music all day, you kind of like forget about your own projects as much. And even
You
though
struggle there with motivation to do your own projects because, like you say, you're so.
it's not the motivation as per se so much, but when you give so much to everything else, it's just tricky, I suppose. So I'm working on it, but it's not the motivation; it's just lack of time. Time is everybody's enemy, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah, just put some stuff out and help the next gen.
Cool. Rorie?
Next goals. I'd say like a short-term goal. I'd like to get 10,000 monthly listeners when I release my album. A long-term goal is to be able to be financially well off from music, I guess. And yeah, like when I do this, it will be like I've made it. Like I don't like, as in I don't, because I know there's different types of like. What I mean by financially well off is like getting the same amount of salary as I would be working from music,
Yeah.
and like that's quite, in my mind, that's quite achievable because I like. Music growth is exponential, so it's like once you get to a certain point, you can just kind of snowball from there. And I believe I've got the right plan. I just like it's kind of the T word that people talk about time. You know, I'm waiting, not waiting on that, but I need after like let's say 2 years, I think I'll then I would have achieved them. But I don't have any like long term goals. I'd like to have a song with Drake, and yeah, I'd like to have a song with Drake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
God's
not?
plan.
Yeah,
God's
why
plan.
not? It will happen.
It's gonna happen, man.
Louis, what do you want from life?
So obviously, same. Like, to be honest, it would be nice to be able to make some money. That'd be good. You know, like the cliche ones, like retire, parents, and stuff like that. Be
So-
cool to think. The dream is I would like to move somewhere sunnier.
Okay.
You know, that's the amount of money. If I
Yeah.
could do that, then I'll be happy. That's all. Yeah.
You'll always be involved in music.
I wanna. Yeah. Obviously, I've got a couple like plan Bs, but like you said, we're privileged in a way where we can at least like survive without having to use all of our time on them. So I'm lucky enough because I don't have a lot of responsibilities right now. I'm just taking the time to like make these few projects, spending like every day doing that, and then after that, honestly, I know it's not like a big cool like music dream, but I'll just go get another like normal job and then just focus on marketing the music.
Yeah.
And It would be cool though to have everything. Like, it would be cool to have a home studio one day that is like an actual studio, because that's a goal, I'd say. You know,
That'd make it a hell of a lot easier to produce, wouldn't it?
yeah. Right now, it's in like the shed in my garden, and it's all right. We done it up, to be fair. We got the walls insulated and that, cause I sleep in there as well, so it's like
Wow.
2-in-1 bedroom and a studio. And I got a punch bag in there now, so it's like 3-in-1 really.
Yeah.
Gym,
But-
bed.
A Swiss Army knife.
But yeah, a better treated room would be cool eventually.
Cool.
I just record him.
Cool. Well, gents, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. You've always got great stuff to share, and really appreciate your you sharing your experiences with music. And I know from personal reflections, but society would be a pretty grey and boring place without music. So I think the more people producing music, the better. It kind of brings our day-to-day lives to life, doesn't it? So yeah, I wish you a lot of success, and looking forward to hearing your new music as well. So and
Thanks,
obviously the gig, and well, it's next week now, not next week, next month. So yeah, thanks guys. This has been In the Making, and episode 3 will be next month, and we'll be exploring the trades, and we'll have another group of young guys and local role models. So watch this space. There'll be a new episode sometime in December. But thank you guys.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Uh-huh.